Good evening and welcome to Unhinged News. I am your host, Unhinged Chaos, and tonight on Unhinged News, I will be covering Donald Trump's supposed Muslim ban, which isn't a Muslim ban at all. It's a travel suspension. However, the mainstream media such as CNN, NBC, ABC, MSNBC, and others will not tell you the truth regarding this supposed ban. They push it as a ban when it is a suspension from 7 countries that are currently of concern to our national security, not a ban. Now, let's get into the 7 countries that Donald Trump has banned immigration from. Iraq. Iraq is the first. Iran is the second country where he has suspended immigration. Syria. Syria is the third country where he has suspended immigration. Yemen, that is the fourth. The fifth is Sudan, and Somalia is the sixth, and Libya is the seventh. Again, this is not a ban, this is a suspension. He has simply suspended travel from these countries. Now, on the day that he had suspended travel from these countries, there were 329,000 people at the airport who had been supposedly affected by this order. However, only 109 of those people were actually detained and slowed down. They were detained for questioning just to be sure that they did not come back from whichever country they were traveling to visit from, that they did not come here with ill intent. The rest of the 329,000 people were free to go from my understanding. However, CNN will not tell you that. ABC will not tell you that. MSNBC will not tell you that. NBC will not tell you that. None of the mainstream corporate media outlets will tell you Donald Trump did not ban Muslims. He did not ban them. He said himself that this was not a ban, that this is a travel suspension. Any other country would have done the same if there were a problem with America and American immigrants or visitors coming to their country. They would have suspended visitors. They would have suspended travel into the country wherever they are having a problem with American with American terrorists. If an American terrorist were to go to Iran, for example, or Iraq, for example, and they had all kinds of problems with American terrorists, Iran and or Iraq, or Yemen, or any of these other 7 countries, they would have done the same thing. They would have temporarily suspended travel from and to their country until they figure out what is going on. That is what Donald Trump had signed an executive order on just a couple days ago. In other news, with this supposed ban, Starbucks has taken it upon themselves to say that they will be hiring 10,000 Muslim refugees. I'm sorry, Starbucks, but the last time I checked, that was against the law. You are not allowed to hire illegals, those who do not live in this country legally. You are not allowed to hire them. You are not allowed to put the foreign citizens of another country above and beyond American workers. We we here in the United States, we do not hire those of a foreign country first and foremost over American employees who could use the jobs a lot more than some foreign and some foreigner could use those jobs. Am I against foreign immigration? No, I am not against immigration. I am not a racist. I am not a homophobic, xenophobic, bigot, whatever else you can think of calling me. I am none of those things. I am simply an American. I am simply a white American, 25-year-old white American male. That is what I am. I come from a family where we work hard for everything we have. I also come from a family of entrepreneurs, and most of my family's wealth has been made through entrepreneurship. I do not live in a wealthy family. I do have a wealthy family, but I do not live in a wealthy family. I live in a small modern American family who grew up in the Midwest in Wisconsin and then moved down to Texas because the current provider of the household had gotten a better had gotten a better job here in Texas, and it was going to be a better situation overall. That is what we that is what you do as an American. An American, if something is not working, looks for something better. They take the better opportunity. We had a better opportunity, and the current main provider, had took the better opportunity. Now, back to the subject at hand, the immigration thing. My great grandparents, they had immigrated from this country, from Ireland, from not from this country to this country, from Ireland. They came from Ireland, where my great grandfather, sometime sometime down the line, he had he had been a bootlegger. Yeah, so he was a bootlegger. He moved alcohol. He moved tobacco. Whatever it is needed moved, he moved it. He was a bootlegger. He then became an entrepreneur. He went to work for the mill in Wisconsin. He then ended up raising his wealth and passed away in his mid 90s. My grandmother, great grandmother, I should say, also, she was an entrepreneur as well. She also worked in the mill that's when the mill actually paid you a goddamn dime, and she fucking made her living and also passed away in her mid 90s. Why am I bringing this up? Because they were immigrants. They came here legally. They worked their asses off. However, a whole different group can come here illegally and get everything handed to them. How does that work? Canada have recently said, "Come on in, Muslims. We welcome you. We want you here. The United States may not want you, and that's not true. The United States does want you. We want immigrants. Immigrants have made this country great. Immigrants have made this country what it is. The Europeans were immigrants. They came to this country from Europe, and they made this country what it is. It's not that we don't want you. It's not that we don't want you. It's not that we don't need you. It's that we don't want your worst. We don't want criminals. We don't want rapists, murderers, thieves, drug dealers. And that's what we do not want. We do not want cartel. We do not want anything which could be a disaster for this country. So, Canada says, "Come on in, Muslims. We welcome you. It will be okay." The next thing you know, Canada yesterday suffers a mass shooting. They say, "Welcome, Muslims. Come on in. It'll be okay." And then they suffer a mass shooting. Texas, here in my home state, a mosque was burned down to the ground. Why? because everyone flipped their fucking shit over Donald Trump's Muslim ban, which isn't a fucking ban at all, and I can't believe how many fucking morons actually bought into a lie told by the mainstream media, by CNN, NBC, MSNBC, ABC, fucking NBC. The list goes on and on. Fox News, the only people of the Fox News brand that I can stand would be Sean Hannity and Judge Janine are the only people I can stand, because Sean Hannity, he tells it how it is. He's not going to run away with some false fake news story that Donald Trump's Muslim immigration suspension is a ban. There's a difference between ban and suspension. Ban meaning you are strictly not allowed here, period, ever the fuck again, usually ever the fuck again. Suspension would be what you would occur in school if you were a really bad boy or a really bad girl. You would be suspended. You would be suspended usually for 3 to 5 days, and then you would be allowed to return. If you violated the terms of your suspension, however, you would be met with consequences. Usually, the consequences of breaking your suspension, violating your suspension, would result in expulsion from that particular school. You would be expelled from that school. You would have to find another school or enter some sort of homeschool program, get your GED, something of that matter. So, no, CNN, Fox News, ABC, MSNBC, NBC, Donald Trump did not ban Muslims. He suspended travel from those merely seven Muslim countries, seven, not every Muslim country, not every Islamic country, seven countries where terrorism is currently a problem. 7 of the most terroristic countries which are currently an issue, which are currently a concern to our national security. Or would you rather watch millions of Americans continue to suffer and continue to die at the hands of some fucking terrorist shouting Allah Akbar? Which brings me to another news topic, and that is the Women's March. What the hell is wrong with you people? The Women's March. Y'all are walking around with fucking vaginas on your head and shit. No one's gonna respect you and take you seriously when you're marching around with a fucking vagina on your head and shit. No one's gonna take you seriously. Why should we take you seriously? You're marching around with a vagina on your head. I don't take that seriously, and there's no one out there who would take that seriously. Let's move on to the Women's March versus the March for Life, a pro-life march, an anti-abortion march. Women's March, marching around with vaginas on their head, shouting Allahu Akbar. Pro-life march, marching around, holding signs, being peaceful. Women's March, violent, talking about their vaginas, their breasts, and everything else, being nasty as fuck, being disrespectful, being, again, violent, starting riots. Pro-life march, not starting riots, not being violent, praying, saying prayer, talking to each other, talking to the media, being civilized human beings. Women's March, not civilized. March for Life, civilized. Are you starting to get the difference? Are you starting to understand the difference between the Women's March and the women's march, which is actually anti-woman when you look at it, and it's fucking whole as a fucking whole. It's actually anti-woman when you look at it as a fucking whole, versus the pro-life march, the March for Life, which is pro-woman when you look at it and as fucking whole. When you look at it as a whole, you see that the pro-life march is actually with women, not against them, and the women's march is against them, and it's not for them. The women's march isn't for you, women. It is not for you. It is against you. It is funded by George Soros and others. It is funded by George Soros, Bank of America, and other other corrupt corporations, other crooked corporations. Do you not understand? If we had crooked Hillary right now in office, we would currently be at war with a lot of people we don't want to be at war with, which brings me to another topic from my news broadcast, which has turned into a rant. But, I mean, let's face it, most of Alex Jones's broadcast, I love Alex Jones, love his broadcast, love the show, but most of his broadcasts, they turn into rants as well, because it's hard to sit here and, okay, well, today, here's the news, and this happened, and I'm just going to ignore the fucking fact that this is wrong. I wish you on the left would realize Russia isn't our enemy. Russia was at one point our ally. Russia does not want war with the U.S. and U.S. does not want war with Russia. We would destroy each other. Russia would be no more. The United States would be no more. And if the United States were no more, you women attending the Women's March, y'all on the left would have nothing left to march for because we would all be dead. Hillary Clinton would have us all fucking killed within a matter of a couple months. Donald Trump has been in for almost 2 weeks, and we have yet to all be fucking killed. This broadcast is going on a little bit longer than I wanted it to. I'm gonna end up getting irate and upset. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna sign off right now. I might be back later with some more news, but seriously, people, let's get our shit together. This has been Unhinged News. I've been your host, Unhinged Chaos. If you like this video, you want to see more like it, click that subscribe button, hit the like button, and I will see you guys again. Good night for now from Unhinged Chaos.